Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Gavel Drops with our very own Joanna Bradford. Welcome to the Gavel Drops studio, Joanna.
Thanks for having me, Ray. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, so shall we just kick straight off with the great questions that we've got?
Let's do it.
Question number one. You've been in property since 2000. What got you into it in the first place?
Delusion, I would say. My sister's best friend at the time was the branch manager of a local corporate agent within our town. And she'd been badgering me for about 12 months, saying, you'd be great, come and do it. You just have to show people around houses, give out a few brochures. And that was pretty much it. So I finally gave in, took the plunge, realised very quickly that she had lied. And that was not the case. You don't just give out brochures and show people around nice houses because they're not all nice. And there's a lot more to a estate agency than meets the eye. But that was it. That's how I got into it. And I was hooked from the start.
And so you've obviously been in property a long time now and you've had many different roles. What's the main reasons why kind of you stayed in the property industry?
I would say first and foremost, the people that you deal with and being able to help them get from their problem or A to B and give them a solution. And you get the buzz of it. You absolutely love it.
I think it's the helping people, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think if you go into that mindset, because there'll probably be a lot of us new auctioneers, new estate agents looking at it of, is this a role for me? So if you're thinking about going into property, whether it be an estate agent or into auctions, what would you say you needed as your most attribute? Or what would you look at it now? If you went back now and you knew everything that you've done, so your experience is there, how would you change your mindset of when you first started?
I would say looking back and everything that you learn, I would say go into it with the mindset of you are helping people. That has got to be first and foremost in your mind when you're dealing with anybody, that you are helping them with their issue, their problem, their want to move on with their life. And it's about helping people on their journey, regardless of what that may be. Have empathy with them, especially when you're dealing with your normal everyday sellers. Sounds a little bit dramatic, but it's their lives you're dealing with. So go into it with the mindset of we're here to help people get to that solution that they want.
So that's the main focus, isn't it? If you go into it looking at it, because I think because it is a sales-driven role, a lot of people look at it.
They look at the pound sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look at it from, and it's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because if you're coming into a world of a self-employed environment, then yes, on one hand, you've got to look at it of, can I afford to live? And is it going to benefit you in what you need to be able to go through your own journey as well? But we are dealing with people's lives and it could be an investor who's not very emotionally attached to property. So they are just looking at the numbers. They want it on, they want it gone. But then when we're dealing with the normal everyday seller, there's a lot of emotion involved in that. And there's a lot of life within the whole process that you've got to take into consideration. It's not as black and white as just the process. You've got to look at everything in between. So you've got to definitely have first and foremost that we are here to help people. And in turn, yes, that will help us. So I would say you've just got to keep that in mind.
Going into it. So over the years, you've worn every hat in the business. What's been your favourite role?
I would say this role now. I would say because I get to do the best of both worlds now. So working in an auction environment, it's a quicker, speedier process for everybody. But I still get to work within the estate agency world. So I get to work with lots of estate agents that I deal with. So I still get to sort of have one foot in each camp, but the end result is a quicker, secure, speedier process for everybody involved, which is what you would hope estate agents would want. Sometimes they don't because their process takes a lot longer than ours. But I would say this hat because I have the autonomy now to work with who I want and with like-minded agents who think very similar to us, but also have that quick process that auction brings. So I would say this hat.
This hat you couldn't do in the auction space. What's probably one of the if you can imagine, most people think of auctions in a different way than what people in auctions think of auctions.
Yeah.
But what's your most common question you get asked as a valuer for auctions by the general public? It could be an agent, but mainly by the general public. What's their misconception of an auction that you mostly get?
I would say generally the misconception of an auction, well, auction's still a dirty word in the grand scheme of things, isn't it? In most people's view. But the misconception is that they're going to give it away, give the property away, and that it's going to sell for cheap. You can only sell to cash buyers. It's only going to be property where the roof's falling off, the windows are falling out. That is a huge misconception. Now, traditionally, yes, that was the case. Many moons ago. But these days, it is about the seller's circumstance more than the property. So we sell, as you know, beautiful big properties, and they sell for very good market value. So I would say, yeah, the biggest misconception is that it's got to be a rundown property. And yes, they're great and they will always be brilliant auction properties, but anyone can sell at auction and anyone can buy at auction. It all boils down to their circumstance. People think auction is stuffy, it's men in suits in the back room. It's very much a man's world still in auction. And estate agency, I think, is very much a women's world, especially in the world of self-employed agents. There's huge amounts of women out there. And I think even a lot of women still think auction is typically the rundown properties, the men in suits, and they shy away from it, and they sort of don't understand it too much, and that's what we want to try and break down and let people know that it's a completely different world to what it used to be in auctions.
Yeah, trying to break the barriers down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of people's perceptions of auctions as it currently is.
Yeah.
So you said, so this is basically finding your fire again. So you said you fell back in love with property. What made you fall out of love and what changed?
I think what made me fall out of love with it, it's kind of when you're put in a box of having to do certain things that don't align with you and align with how you think you should be doing things or how things could be done differently. So I would say that was probably a lot of it. And now that I am able to do things the way I think they should be done and how I want to do them, and I can work with people and surround myself with people that are like-minded, motivated, love an auction sale and get it. I think that's what made me fall back in love with things.
Is it because you're kind of doing it on your own terms?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely on your own terms. And you get to, like I say, you get to work with the people you want to work. You get to surround yourself with the people that you want to surround yourself with. I'm a big believer in you surround yourself with 5 positive people and you're going to become the 6th one. So I like to be in environments that make you feel better and make you feel that you can achieve better and be better and show other people that as well.
So it's that like it is who you surround yourself with is always gonna bring out either the worst of you or the best of you.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So it's who you want to surround yourself with.
Yeah.
That can kind of change what you could have or what you currently want.
Well, it changes your whole mindset, doesn't it? And we've said it often. In today's world, you can be whatever you want to be. If you want to be different, if you want to do better or be better, it's within you to do that. But you've got to put yourself in an environment that helps you to do that. And I think that is part of what we do and part of the journey now of being self-employed enables you to do that more.
If there was someone who's currently in property, who's kind of, as you say, was in the position you were in, so they fell out of love, and it's not sort of maybe fell out of love of a role, fell out of love of property in general, or just fell out of love with it, what would you say was your go-to kind of how your mind changed? When you're not happy where you are, it's hard to get out of that feeling of being unhappy.
Yeah.
Because you can't just switch off.
No, and you can find yourself on a downward spiral, can't you? Where you can't see the wood for the trees, so to speak. But I am a big believer in, if you are that unhappy with something, then change it. We can all have a bad week in this business or a bad month in this business, and you've got to be able to pick yourself up. And I think doing the job for as long as we have, you learn to do that. It's an emotional roller coaster anyway, whether you're having a good or a bad week, because you're dealing with people's emotions day in, day out. But if you yourself are feeling that you're unhappy in the role that you're doing within your current circumstances, then change it. It's well within you to decide you want something different or better and go for it. Because what's the worst that's going to happen?
Because you're not stuck, are you, where you are?
You're not stuck at all. And I'm going to start laughing nearly, because as we always say, and you often laugh at this, you're not a tree. So you're not stuck. You're not rooted into something. So if you are that unhappy with your current circumstance, regardless of what that is in life or, your business or whatever, then change it. Absolutely change it. Because the worst thing that is going to happen is you're going to have to go back to what you were doing.
Yeah. I think it's mainly believing in yourself.
Yeah, but that's key to where you have to surround yourself with the right people, because sometimes you need help with that. And yes, you have to have an inner belief that you are good enough and that you can achieve whatever it is that you're looking to do. But if you surround yourself with the right people, get yourself in that right mindset, then you can achieve it. Anything is possible.
But that's the thing, isn't it? So it goes back to, realistically, look at what you want to achieve. Step one.
Yeah.
Look at the reasons why you're not happy.
Yeah.
Step two. And then find out and look for them people who will be, one, your supporters, but two, help you get to them positions 1 and 2.
Yeah. You've got to have the right mindset. Mindset is a big thing. Because you're going to fall down often. You're not going to maybe achieve what you think you're going to achieve, or what other people think you may achieve, which they actually don't know that. But mindset is a massive thing. And I think if you surround yourself with the right people, you keep your mindset positive and keep those end goal, be a little bit delusional with your thoughts. And I think if you all think the same, then yeah, you can only go one way.
So taking the leap to where you are now, what was the scary moment that went through your mind?
It was probably, what if I fail? I would only fail by my own admission, really, wouldn't I? I'm only going to fail if I let it fail.
I think people worry about failure, but then I seen a quote and it was like, it's only really a failure if, one, you don't learn from it.
Yeah.
And two, you don't go again.
Yeah, you don't pick yourself up.
Yeah, and go again. Because then it's kind of, it's like if someone fails, because many business people will fail multiple businesses before
Absolutely
you get to the point where you've nailed it, for instance.
And it's that point where you're probably, on the ground thinking that this is never going to happen, is to keep going then.
Yeah.
Because that's when it's going to happen. And I think, I was probably more scared of failing, but what is failing? I was probably more scared of what are people going to think and what are people going to say. And this is a big thing for me, that, oh my God, what, you want me to do a video? There was a no-go at the time. But yeah, I think a lot of people, and I did, it was a fear of failure, a fear of, oh my God, what are people going to say? What are people going to think? But I've very quickly learned over the past few months, who cares? Because no one cares. No one really cares what you're doing. Only you.
Yeah.
I care what I'm doing. Of course I do. And so failure's not an option. Failure's not an option. And actually, is it really failure? Because it's not, because you just pick up and you go again.
Well, yeah, because it's failure. And this is I can't remember who it was who said it, but he said, the failure is if you don't go again. That position you ended in.
That's final.
That's final. Yeah. That's the failure.
Yeah.
So I done this, it didn't work, so I stay here.
Yeah.
Or you go back to something else.
Well, the biggest thing for me is, if you never give it a go, you're never going to know. So, and if you don't give it your all, you're never going to know. So if it didn't work, not so much if it fails, if it didn't work, the worst that's going to happen is, well, I'm going to have to go back to what I was doing before. I'm going to have to go back to that life that I had before. And that's probably not the option. So It is, you just pick yourself up and you carry on.
But would you say that feeling of having to go back is what pushes you forward to go again?
It far outweighs the fear of what I think if this didn't work. There's more fear of me having to go back to a 9 to 5, being stuck back in that little box of having to do what somebody else is telling me to do. And I have to deal with people because I'm being told to do that. So that was probably more the fear than of anything that we do now.
See, because me, for instance, with regarding like fear, I don't think it's ever been I've never been fearful of like the loss or going back to what it was that I was doing before. That's always kind of, that bit of fear has always pushed me a bit more to get to that result.
Yeah.
To go, actually, do you know what? I don't. And I think, but it's the same, isn't it? It's like a lot of people now, we do with the team regarding social media. The main fear is, and you've got it, is what other people think of something that you post.
Yeah.
Because that's the main focus of the mindset of most people.
Yeah.
Or what? It's like Gary Vaynerchuk said the other week, if I rang you today and said, Joe, could you do me a favour and go and speak at this event? There's 50 people going to be at this event and you need to go and speak to them 50 people and talk about auctions. You'd be made up. You'd be buzzing.
I would do that.
But then now you're flipping on its head and saying, if you post on social media today and get 50 people who look at it, you think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Instead of going, well, if there was 50 people in a room all looking at you, it'd be a good thing.
Yeah. I think we have that fear of social media and somebody sticking a camera in your face, is that there's no interaction, is there? You can't see who's behind that screen. Whereas if you're in a room of 50 people and you're getting that interaction and you can see their faces and, I don't mind doing that. It's really strange. And I don't know why I struggled to sit in front of a camera.
You can.
I'm getting over that now, obviously.
Because we're here.
Because we're here. But yeah, it's really strange. It's a really strange feeling. And I think, and I know a lot of agents that I've known for years and years, and they felt the same. And people who aren't in our industry but know us say, well, why would you struggle with that? Because you come across, you're dead confident, you come across this or that. And it's a very strange feeling when you've got to put yourself on a video than it is when we are sat across from each other talking about what we do.
So the fear of, so you're happy to stand up on stage in a room with people and talk to them because you can see their faces. But then on social media, you're scared to put a video up, even though you don't see anyone. Is that because of what you don't know what the others think straight away? Whereas if you're in a room, suppose, and you're talking to 50 people and you're talking about auctions and it doesn't go well, automatically.
Well, yeah, because you'll see them roll their eyes or, you can see they've disengaged with you and maybe they're not listening. Not that that would happen, obviously. Who wouldn't want to talk about auctions? But yeah, I think it's just a very different feeling when you first start doing it on video because it's almost like you're talking to yourself, isn't it? Even though you're not, you're talking to however many people that may be looking at it that you don't know.
So it's that not knowing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like a little bit of having no control, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to get into it because obviously the people in our team are all at different stages of like social media content. And people always say to me, oh, you love video. And I'm like, I don't. I know how massive it is that I've got to do it.
Yeah.
So, because you've technically, to run a business, especially in property, I don't think you can't not do social media.
I think these days, definitely, that there's still a mixture of we like face-to-face. I like face-to-face. But then that comes with your networking, as in face-to-face networking. But yeah, social media obviously is a massive, massive thing. And you've got to be in it to win it, haven't you? You've got to be doing it and you've got to put yourself out there. And it is uncomfortable, but you have to start getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable.
It's that feeling of something that, as you say, the control's not potentially there, and then you worry of what people think.
I think you have to get to that stage where you have to think, who cares? If I've said this to you before, the Mel Robbins book, let them. So the biggest thing for me now is somebody doesn't like it, let them. Somebody doesn't want to listen, let them. or let them scroll by. They're not paying your bills either. So let them think what they want. As long as we're providing some value, um, and showing yourself as the person that you really are, you're going to connect with those people that will gravitate towards you. They'll be able to work with you. They think like you. So yeah, I've really got to a point now with the help of you and the other people in the team as well, where you have to start thinking, do you know what? Just let them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't let other people dictate how much you can earn and how big you build your business based on what they think of you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like if I said to you now, I've got 100 people who want to sell the properties or 100 estate agents, you can pick who you want to work with.
Mm.
You would go through them 100 estate agents and you would pick who you'd want to work with based on your particular personality and who you think you're going to work alongside. Social media just does that for you. The people who you wouldn't pick to work with anyway will not like your posts or say something stupid on a post.
Well, your vibe attracts your tribe, doesn't it?
But then the people who do like your posts, who do follow you, who do go, well, I want to work with Joe, they will be the people that you go, well, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's going to work with everyone.
No, absolutely. And do you know what? That is the joy of doing what we do, is that we can work with people that think the way that we do. And then you build a really, really good relationship. And that's how you're going to then help everybody. You're going to help them as in an agent or a seller. And then everybody wins, don't they? If you have to drag somebody along with you and you're trying to convince somebody of how an auction process is going to work for them, you've got to convince them day in, day out, then maybe they're not for you.
And I think as well, like when someone, I've always thought of it because like I don't like social media, don't like doing videos, don't like doing photos. If someone says something on my social media to me, I always think they're the ones realistically. It's their life that they're not happy with, which is sad, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you look at it from a social media perspective and go, if someone's took the time to comment on a post, something that's not very nice or whatever it is, their life can't be that good.
No.
For them to go, well, I've got the time. And also, I remember someone telling me, he said, yeah, but every time you get a bad comment, more people see it.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? Right. And that's what he said. He said, so if 10 people commented something not very good on your post, right, more people will see it.
Yeah, it's interaction, isn't it? Yeah.
The algorithm will push it out. Because Barry from Bognor Regis said, why is your face always red, right? And I'm like, because I've got rosacea, that's what it is.
Yeah. But the thing is, if Barry from Bognor Regis is saying something nasty on your post or saying, something not very nice on your post, well, for one, let him. But for two, he's not doing anything to better his own life, is he?
No.
And if he can criticise you or me or whoever for trying to do better and help people, then just let them get on with it.
Just let him get on with it.
Yeah.
So let's go into, right, here we go. Was there a moment recently when you thought, yeah, I'm back, and you felt like you were...
I would say the first few properties are sold and it was literally bang, bang, bang. And it's such a buzz. I think it's great as an estate agent when you instruct a house and you sell a house and it's really exciting. And then estate agents have that terrible lull between sale agreeing something and getting through to exchange and completion. And they're always on tender hooks. They're always thinking, oh God, what if this falls through? And they kind of lose that buzz then by time they get paid. And then by time they do get paid, it's like more of a relief than a buzz. Whereas what we do is so quick and it's so it's so easy from start to finish. And when you are at that start process and you're explaining the process to the seller and you're saying this is what's going to happen and this is how it's going to work, and then it does happen and it does work like that, and it's kind of bish bash bosh, as we say, and it's done and it's dusted, it's such a buzz for us because it's so quick. And the seller will be like, oh my God, it happened exactly how you said it was going to happen. I didn't believe it at the start because I was terrified, really, when you told me the price and I didn't think we were going to achieve what I wanted. And then it does, and that happens. And if you've partnered with an agent on those properties, and for them, they then get paid the next day. Like, that's a buzz, because I've just probably saved their month. In fact, there was a few agents that I've worked with where I've turned their months around. We kind of saved their life in the month with the payment that they achieve the very next day after a property is sold, not 4 to 6 months down the line when it exchange or complete. And for them, it is such a buzz. So it gives you that buzz back. And it is kind of that thought where you think, yeah, this is why I do it. This is why I like doing this and I love doing this. And I'm passionate about explaining to sellers and to estate agents of how the auction process works, because it does work. And, if you get it right from the start, you create that excitement and you create that buzz, it'll work. And it sounds dramatic, but it can change people's lives, whether it be the seller, the agent, whoever's involved. And that's the buzz. And that's when you start to think, yeah, this is why I'm doing it. So it was those first few sales that I had.
The first
when
few,
I started.
when you first started, that obviously, I think it's, people don't get the buzz until they've done an auction sale.
No, they don't.
And I think people always look at it as you can't get the same amount of buzz rate from selling the properties you've sold each month.
Oh God, you can.
I'm like, you can.
Oh, every time without fail. If we sell prior to auction or we sell on auction day. I mean, obviously auction day is the bigger buzz, I would say, because you can see those bids coming in, and and you've got a minute to go, and you can picture. Well, I certainly can. I can picture the people that are bidding. I can picture the agent watching it if it's an agent, a partnership with an agent. You might have the seller on the phone while the bids are coming in, and it gets to that last minute, the bids, and they just start going bang, 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 bang. And honestly, it is an absolute adrenaline rush. And it's sometimes when the auction ends at the end of the day, you're exhausted. And we're just sitting watching, so in that respect, yeah, it's a massive, massive buzz every single time without fail.
Yeah, you can't beat it. If you've never watched an auction, watch an auction online. And even if you have this, I said it to a potential seller a couple of weeks back, watch this month's auction, pretend you're buying. So write down the figure, what you're going to bid up to before the auction starts, and just pretend you're bidding on that lot to see if you get the auction buzz, and then you'll understand a little tiny bit of what the adrenaline rush is. So what do you think the industry needs more of and less of?
I think for our industry, we need more education in what auction is about. I think sellers and agents, I mean, we work a lot with estate agents. They need to understand the process better. And it's part of our job to educate them on the joys of auction and how it can benefit their sellers, and definitely how it can benefit them as an estate agent. And then in general, I think it needs a lot more positivity and collaboration. I think if you have a lot more collaboration with agents, with anybody within the property world, solicitors, and things will be so much better. It'll be a much more positive experience for our sellers, for our buyers. But definitely, I'd say the biggest things are collaboration and education within what we do.
In the auction space?
Yeah.
Right, okay. What's a totally normal day in your life actually like?
A normal day in my life. Now I'm self-employed.
As someone's looking at it and go, what would be the idea? What would be the perfect day?
The perfect day would be direct to seller instructions, lots of conversations with the agents that I partner with. Perfect day would be maybe selling a couple of properties prior to auction, just to speed that process up for that seller. Everything still happens under those auction conditions. So the perfect day, as in respect to the business, is to speak to people. So have conversations, get those direct to vendor instructions, and then walk my dog, do something for me, because part of being self-employed, and a big thing that I think you should do, is take time out for yourself, because if you are not mentally prepared for the day that you need to be organised and you want to get through, going back to what we said earlier, mindset is a massive thing. So get yourself out, Get yourself out for an hour, go off for a walk with the dog or on your own. Do something for yourself. It helps you to be more productive. It helps you to do better. It helps you to be able to work better with the people that you're working with, your colleagues, your sellers, your buyers. So I would say be prepared. Get yourself prepared, have a plan, stick to your plan. I think we said this earlier. You can be self-employed and you can work it full-time or you can work it part-time, but you can't work it sometimes.
Well, a lot of people will go from employed to be self-employed. That leap from that is now they've got no one telling them what to do.
There's no structure.
Yeah, there's no structure.
Yeah.
So it's literally there's no one telling them you've got to be here, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. What is the hardest thing that changes? So how did you find that difficult changing from, well, your working hours are 9 till 5:30, for instance, but now you can work 9 till 10?
Yeah. Well, I think if you're coming from an employed role, now I've been very lucky where I've done this before. So I kind of had an insight to it. So I knew what I was getting myself into. But I think if you are coming into it from an employed role, this is where your mindset is crucial as to how you're going to proceed with things. Get some structure into your day. Have structure, have a plan, and stick to it. Time block your diary. So if it's in your diary, stick to it. Because I do think some people struggle because they think, oh, I can do what I want and I can go here and I can go there. And then they don't actually do any work. So I think if you have a plan, have some structure, stick to what you have to do, you can fit everything in. You can still have your own time, but put it in your diary. If you want to go to the gym for an hour or you want to go for a walk for an hour or you want to go and do your food shop on a Monday afternoon, put it in your diary. But have that structure and have that mindset as when you're coming into it, that how do you want to work this? Do you want it to be a full-time role? Do you want it to be a part-time role? So if you want it to pay you like a business, you have to treat it like a business. If you want it to pay you like a hobby, well, you're going to treat it like a hobby and you're not really going to do a great deal. So get yourself some structure. You are the boss. You are your boss. So if you want to work from 12 o'clock in the afternoon till 8 o'clock at night, you're working 12 till 8. If you want to work from 8 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they're the hours that you're working, but make sure you do them. The big thing is, I think if you're coming from that employed role to a self-employed role, is make sure your mindset is right. Really drill down into the figures that you want to achieve and work backwards from that as to how you're then going to achieve those figures and set your stall out from day one. Because if you start flapping around and you start going here, there and everywhere and you don't really do anything, but you're going to stay in that, it's going to be very difficult for you to get out of that sort of then mindset that you're in and you won't survive it. So you've got to be really committed and you've really got to know what you want to achieve from it and set your stall out from the start.
It's self-motivating, isn't it? Because when you're self-employed and no one's telling you you've got to work here or you've got to do this, it's easy to get stuck in the trap of, well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to go and do it here. Not work, like as in work. And before you know it, the day's run away with itself.
And you've achieved nothing and you've really done nothing. But you might say, well, I've sat at my laptop sat in the office for 5 hours, but what have you done? So time blocking really works. So if you set an alarm for 2 hours and you're going to work for those 2 hours straight, and you will be amazed at how much you can achieve if you are solidly focused on those 2 hours. And then get up and go for a walk for an hour if you want, and then come back in the afternoon, do another 2 hours. But you've got to do it. Consistency is key. So you've got to be really consistent about what you do. You've got to be self-motivated and you've got to be able to really look at what you do, what you really do, not what we think we do, and be driven.
I think it's being honest. I had a discovery call with someone last week and they were like, I don't really want to swap me employed role to be the same hours, Ray, as a self-employed role, because what's the point? So I said to them, okay, but if you're brutally honest with yourself, that 9 till 5:30 hours you do, what is that? Not forget about work, because you could say, well, I'm working all day, but out of them so many hours, what is actually productive work, what you literally can you go, wow, that got a result, or that task that I done achieved a sale, achieved a valuation, or achieved some marketing or whatever it is. So drill down into your day, because the person's currently employed, and I said, for the next 4 weeks or even a week, actually break it down to exactly how many hours you are physically working. So if you're doing 9 till 5:30, but how many hours are you actually doing work that actually generates some kind of
business.
yeah,
Like income producing activities.
yeah.
That's what you've got to look at. What are you actually doing each day to produce an income? Because you're self-employed. No
Mm.
one else is paying your bills for you. So, and that's where time blocking is really, really good. Because if you focus for 2 hours on what will produce an income to you, you'll be surprised how, with consistency, that compound effect will produce that result for you. And then when you see that result come in, you're going to increase those times that you're working, because as I say, you treat it like a business, going to pay you like one. You treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like one. So, and this is the thing where we say drill backwards with your figures.
It's about looking at your numbers, what you want to achieve, and then breaking it down into simple tasks rather than going, oh God, that's a big number. Break it down into simple tasks and then go, well, I need to work X amount of hours in order to get. Because we done it. I sent figures
Well,
out.
we're quite delusional, aren't we? The figures that we want to achieve, or some people would think we're quite delusional. And we say, well, we want to achieve this
X.
much. And I think if you said it out loud to maybe the normal person who's coming into this business, they'd go, what? Or maybe some people that we know would look at us and go, what? Oh my God, that's a massive number that you're looking individually to achieve. But then if you break those figures down, it's not a massive number. Not the way we work and you know how we get our income. And then so you break it all the way back down and then you start building it back up. And actually it's so achievable.
Yeah,
It is so achievable.
people can achieve a lot more than they think,
Masses more than what they can
because
think.
if you've got, it's each step, isn't it?
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people go, can't do that. And you're like, yeah, but you can. It's just break it back down to where you need it to be and then start building from there.
Yeah. And then it's not so daunting. And we work with a lot of partner agents. And I, in particular, have conversations with these agents to say, you know, you can earn, well, what you can earn is uncapped, you know, and from an auction point of view, where it's a very quick turnaround and their pipeline turns over very quickly, and they've only got to get one or two sales, and they're like, oh my God, this works. And you can see their mind starts ticking and the cogs are turning, and all of a sudden they start to think the way we do, and they start to see it, and they start to go, well, actually, I could get XYZ with this and I could earn this amount just from an auction process, never mind their private treaty sales. And we're like, yeah, you
Yeah.
know, just drill those figures down. It's really simple. Keep it simple. Don't recreate the wheel, so to speak. Don't overcomplicate it. What we do is not complicated.
It's just running back, as you say, it's just running back your figures of where you need to be. It's, I always say it to all the team, is how many sellers do you need to speak to before you get an instruction, and how many instructions you need to get a sale. If you just look at them figures on a whole, and I know some people go, but I'm new and I've never done that before. If you're in a state agency, you should know the figures of what you're currently doing.
But a lot of them don't, though, do they? Because they will say that's not their job. And that's, I think that's another thing when you are coming from an employed role to a self-employed role. You are then everybody. You are the admin, you are the accompanied viewer, you are the valuer, you are the CEO, you are everything within that business. So you will very quickly learn that. And if you don't, then maybe it's not the role for you. But I think with the training and the guidance and the support that any person coming into an employed role under the auction company, what they're going to get, it sets them up. It sets them up fully for them to be able to thrive in the business that we do.
As you say, the support systems that you get, there's Because now you've got a lot of stuff that you can find on the internet on how many leaflets you need to send. And
The data is out. Data is there, isn't it? And you can find everything out these days that you need. I mean, also, it's a little bit more than that. It's not just, you go on, right, you go on, find a little bit of data. What do we need to do? It's actually putting that into action, because we can all sit there and say, well, I need to do this to get to there, to get to there. And then you sit back and go, yeah, I know what I need to do. It's doing it. So that's a big thing as well. You have to become a doer. There's no point in knowing how to do it if you're not going to implement it.
yeah, you've got to it's like plan it out so you know exactly where you've got to go.
Mhm.
But then the next step is to take an action.
Yeah.
But it's consistent action.
Yes. And I think some people will go, oh, well, I've sent, I don't know, 100 letters out
Mm.
and I've not had anything from it. But how many times have you done that? And if you've sent 100 and not get anything, do you need to send 200, 300, 400, 500, 1,000? And how many months do you have to do that over? So it's about consistency. It's about small, consistent steps every single day will compound, won't they? And over time, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you will start to see the benefit from that. But it's not going to happen on day one. It's not going to happen on week one or month one. I mean, you're very lucky if it does. But you have to keep doing that. And once you've broke down your figures to know where you need to be, where you need to start, how you're going to get there, you've got to do it consistently.
I think the main leaflets and stuff like that, or direct mail, it's constant flow. If you're constantly sending,
It's a constant funnel,
yeah,
isn't it?
and they may, because I know someone asked me a couple of weeks back, yeah, but the leaflets I get, Ray, I just put in the bin. I'm like, you normally
Most people do.
most people do. There's people that don't.
Yeah.
And it's them people that you're targeting.
Yeah.
Majority of people will just put it in the bin. But that means then, because that's what I said to
But you're going to put it in the bin on week one, aren't you? Because you think, I don't need it. You might not even look at it, or you'll just very quickly look at it, goes in the bin. You'll get it again the next week. I had that last week, you'll put it in the bin. Get it again the next week, the next week, the next week. And you know what? On week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, your circumstances may be different, and you think, oh God, I need that. Or I know somebody who needs this. And you become forefront in people's minds if you are consistently putting yourself in front of people, regardless of how you're doing it. It goes back to the social media, the networking. It's everything, isn't it? If you're consistently doing it.
If you're consistently doing it day in, day out, you, as you say, it compounds into something then. But it's the same thing, isn't it? And I said to this person last week, I said, okay, so if you're sending out 100 letters and 10 of them are getting read and the other 90 are going in the bin, then you need to send out 500 letters, because then 50 are getting read.
Or 1,000.
Yeah, or 1,000. It's not, don't think of it as, well, 90 people binned it and I only spoke to 10. Think, okay, then, but I need to send out more to increase that conversion. And I think a lot of people.
That's the mindset you need, isn't it? That's the difference. That's the mindset you need to keep at it. Keep looking at, what you are doing, what you're achieving from that, what result are you getting from the effort that you're putting in. And if you want to get a better result, you need to put more effort in. So it's an effort-based business. So the more effort we put in, the better result you're going to get.
So on them days where you're down or you don't feel like putting the effort in, what gets you to the point where you go, actually, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go for it now.
Well, I think you've got to have a bare minimum as well, haven't you? You've got to have a bare minimum that you do every single day. And that's the consistency. So you've got to find what your bare minimum is and do that every day. So even on the days you don't feel like it, for whatever reason, you've still got to do that bare minimum. And then the next day when you're feeling better, then you're going to do more than the bare minimum. So, but you've always got to keep bare minimum every single day. You've got to do something, because as we keep saying, it's an effort-based business. You put no effort in, but you're not going to get a result.
No, because I think in an employed role, you can go in and get through the day.
Yeah. You don't even do the bare minimum.
Yeah. And get through the day. But then you feel like, and that's what I said to this guy the other week. I said, if you're realistically, and I think he said, so if I broke it down, Ray, on a 9 till 5:30, I probably do 4 hours.
I'd say he probably does 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said 4. So I said, okay, then if you do 4 hours a day to get the results you get, could you do 4 hours a day for yourself? Technically, he said, I said, break it down. You technically could do 12 till 4. And when we broke it down and flipped it that way, he was like, yeah, but I'd still do work in the morning. And I said, yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Which then means you'd increase your work, which means if you're doing productive work, increases your income.
I think we're so programmed, aren't we, to, you go to school, you might go to college, uni, and then you get a job, and we're so programmed into having a 9 to 5 job and being comfortable with getting paid a salary every month. And that's the comfort blanket, isn't it? So you can't, and then you feel stuck. You feel stuck then because you're so comfortable with taking that money and go, oh, but I can't leave my job because I need to earn that much money every month. Well, in today's world, you can quite easily make that money and more every single month, but you've just got to be open-minded to it. And if, as an employed person, you are looking at self-employed models, you must have some belief in yourself that you can do it. You must have that belief there that you could be self-employed and you could explore this route. So just believe in yourself and put in more effort or the same effort that you think you're putting into a business that you're creating for somebody else, and do it for yourself. Because the worst that is going to happen is that you have to go back and help create someone else's dream and not your own.
And that's the key, isn't it? If you work for yourself. I think as well, though, a lot of people don't like that responsibility.
Now, do you know what? It's not for everyone. Being self-employed is not for everybody. And if you're happy in an employed role, brilliant, great, perfect. But my thing is, if you're not, then do you know what? Back yourself. Because the worst thing, you have to go back. But why would you? Because you've just got to have that. Yeah, if you've got that belief inside you, go and build your own dream. Go and build your own business. And that's going to look different for one person to the next, isn't it? So one person's dream may be they want to earn a certain amount of money. The next person's dream may be, well, I want to earn this much money. So you just got to find out what it is that you're looking for. Take the leap.
And I think the flexibility of what like being self-employed can give you sometimes. Like, and I said it to her, this was a while back. You may not earn as much, and this person was like, it's not the money, it's the time.
Yeah.
If I can earn half of what I'm earning, but spend more time doing the things I want to do,
yeah,
then it's a result.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's, however much you want to earn is going to differ from one person to the next, and what you want to get out of being in self-employed and why you are coming into a self-employed role is different from one person to the next. The flexibility that it brings to you is absolutely brilliant. You can work from anywhere. You can work the times you want. You can work with the people that you want. But also that is a double-edged sword. So, we have some people that we work with who, like to work still those core hours of most people's businesses between, 8:30 and 5:30. But then we have other people in the team that will work very early in the morning, they work very early at night because they want to do things during the day for themselves. But that's the joy of being flexible. But you've got to pick your flexible, haven't you? You've got to pick those times that suit you.
You got to pick your, as you say, but that's planning out your diary again, isn't it? If
Yeah.
you plan the diary on how you want it to run.
I work with a lot of self-employed agents, and a lot of them, and this is where flexibility comes into it. So a lot of them are on the road during the day, seeing their clients, doing valuations, doing videos, take-ons and what have you. So most of the conversations I have with them could be after 7:00 at night. Now that's perfect for me. I don't have little kids. I'm not putting anybody to bed at 7:00 at night. So for me, the flexibility to do that actually suits me brilliantly. It suits my agents. It suits me. It suits my sellers that I work with. So I think you do have to remember when you are self-employed and that flexibility is coming into it, it's got to suit everybody. So you can't be that rigid that it only suits you.
Even now is the way I see it is if a mate messaged me at 7:00 at night and I was on my phone, you'd reply. So I still do it the same now. if a seller messaged me at 7 o'clock and I'm on my phone, even though it may not be your core hours, you just reply.
Because how many of us are sat with our phones most of the time next to us or in our hand? You know, most people do communicate via text message these days. It's convenient, it's easy. You know, a seller might be sat at home at 7 o'clock when they've got home from work, they've sorted their kids out, they've just sat down and they go, oh God, I needed to ask such a question, but I don't want to ring them because it's 7 o'clock at night. So I'll just send them a message. So easy for you to just send a message back. Or have a conversation with them. And again, you do have to sometimes set your stall out because obviously not everybody wants to be working at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. But most of the time, is it a real great hardship if you had to send somebody a message at 7:30 at night? And I think a lot of people will respect the fact that if it's a Friday night or it's a Saturday night and they message you at 8 o'clock at night, are you going to message them back? Probably not. But you will have set your stall out anyway when you're dealing with these people. You know, so they'll know. But I think the flexibility of being able to do that, well, for me, it works.
I struggled to start. I still struggle a bit of not replying straight away. I've always struggled with it, to be fair, because I like to.
Yeah.
I've always been, to be fair with me, I like to finish the day with everything's
it's done.
With it's done.
Yeah.
So if it takes another hour, 2 hours to get through the tasks I need to get through, I'd rather do that than otherwise I can't really settle down.
Yeah. Well, that's for me. If I've left a message, let's say for a seller or an agent that I'm working with, and I've had to leave a message during the day because they're working, and then they ring me back at 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, I'm not going to answer that call because I know they've just got home from work and they're returning my call. So they're being polite enough to return my call. I'm then not going to say, oh, it's 7 o'clock, I'm not going to answer that. And I just I don't get that.
I think some people's, everyone's busy at the moment. Everyone's busy, aren't they? With do you know what I mean? With lives and stuff like that. And I think your main key focus is set your stall out from the start.
Create some structure.
Yeah.
Create some structure for yourself. Don't go from an employed role to a self-employed role thinking, I could do what I want. You know, you don't get out of bed till 10 o'clock and you don't do this and you don't do that. Don't do that. Create some structure. Time blocks are absolutely brilliant for you getting some focused work done. So do yourself some time blocking and be consistent with it.
I learned the other day I turned off my alert on my laptop for emails.
Yeah, do it on your phone.
And the amount of work I got done, because everyone's probably the same. You see an alert come through, it's an email. And then
you become so distracted, don't you? You become so distracted with things when you're self-employed, I think in particular, especially if you work from home. A lot of time as well, I will take myself actually off out somewhere and work because you're less distracted. At home, I can become very easily distracted. You know, the dog will come and see me or, you know, the door will knock. But yeah, if you've time blocked, you shut that door of your office, set your clock, set your alarm on your phone, turn off all your notifications, because if somebody texts you, somebody rings you, you see an email come through, you will very easily be distracted. So set your clock, get it done, and honestly, you'll thank yourself for it, and you feel really, really productive.
Because you've worked remotely for a while now, haven't you?
I've worked remotely now for 7 years. So way before COVID, I worked remotely.
So what's the struggles do you think people come up against? Because I've worked remotely myself in an office on my own at home, but I've never worked in an office environment as well, but it's never been a problem for me. But I know I've got friends who do similar roles and they have to hire an office because they don't get nothing done.
Well, that's it.
He's honest. He said, if I work from home, Ray, I don't really get much done.
Well, it's the distraction, isn't it? And I think we can all do that. And it might be, oh, the grass needs cutting, the washing needs putting on. I'll just run the Hoover over the floor. So you start doing, you will think of other things to do. So you'll start to, for one, procrastinate. So you'll do everything else other than the task that you're supposed to be doing that day.
Like ringing the seller to get a price reduction.
Do you know what? Which will take you 2 minutes. We all do it. We've done it in offices before, haven't we? We're all like, do you want a cup of tea? Do you want this? So just get it done. Like I say, time block, set your alarm, shut the world out. If it works for you and you need to go off and work somewhere else, perfect. I do that from time to time. I'm quite lucky, whereas I like my own company. Some people don't. They thrive on being with other people. If that's the case, well, we work in a team. So we can do that. I can come and see you. I can go and see Helen. We can go and see maybe not Nick because he's too far away, but you can jump on a Zoom with him. So again, if you're feeling like that, talk it through. Talk to somebody within your team. But I would say, try not to be distracted too much. Stick with some structure and just get it done, because it does not take as long as you think it does in your mind. And actually, you'll waste 4 hours a day thinking about what you need to do instead of taking that hour that it'll take for you to actually do it.
To complete the task. So let's get to some quick fire rounds. Favorite chocolate bar?
Galaxy.
Just a plain Galaxy? Or
No, not caramel. Plain Galaxy. Full chocolate.
Favorite food? Favorite meal you would cook in your house?
Roast dinner.
Favorite meal you would eat out?
Now, it depends where I was going.
Go anywhere you want.
Oh, see, I like all foods. It could be anything.
Favorite takeaway?
Indian.
Favorite drink?
Gin or Prosecco. Rosé Prosecco.
Favorite holiday destination that you've been on already?
I've been to?
Yeah.
Mexico.
Favorite holiday destination that you want to go to?
Dubai. You know I'm going there.
Yeah. If you could do, if tomorrow you could do whatever you wanted and plan the day around you doing exactly how you want to plan the day, what would it be?
Would that be work or life?
Life, nothing to do with work.
I'd get on a flight to Australia.
And then we'll fly back overnight. It was only a day.
If it was just for a day.
Yeah. So you've got a day to yourself to do whatever you want to do. What does Joe do?
I'd have a spa day.
Spa day in Australia.
In Australia.
Right. So if someone's feeling stuck or they've lost their spark in property, what would you say to them?
The biggest bit of advice I can give somebody if they are feeling like that is change it. Change your circumstances, change your mindset, change your circumstances, change your environment. Sometimes you have to lose the environment, lose some people within that environment to be able to move forward and start being comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling. Because once you feel that, everything will change. But if you're stuck, then change it. There's only you that can get yourself out of that. Don't wait for somebody to come along and save you, because that's not going to happen.
It's down to you to make that decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of what you really, really want.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at what you really want. And if you are that unhappy in any situation that you're in, then just change it. It's not as hard as you think. It's just scary. It can be scary. It can be daunting, but back yourself and move forward.
Because we've had some great guests on the podcast. Sean Newman done podcast episode 1. Keith Fairman done episode 2. Like Sean, my key takeaways from Sean was some people will spend longer planning their week's holiday than they do planning 5 years of their life.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure, are you sure? And he was like, think about it logically. And they do.
Yeah.
And then one of the key takeaways from Keith's podcast was failure.
Yeah.
Is it really failure?
Yeah.
If you pick yourself up and go again.
It's just fear, isn't it?
Mm.
I think the biggest thing is that we all fear failure, rejection. But is it really any of those things?
I think if you go in business, I think if you fail and the business doesn't do what you think it's going to do and it's not right for you, you'll realise it's not right for you.
Yeah.
Quite quickly.
But if you can hand on heart say you've really tried and you've given it 100% and it's not for you, that's fine. That doesn't mean it's failed. That means it's just not for you.
Yeah.
So move on and do something else. Like I say, don't be trapped in that sort of hamster wheel of you carry on doing the same thing and expect we say this a lot. If you carry on doing the same thing and expect a different result, well, you're not going to get one.
It's that. I think the key focus is if you literally give it your all and you can stand there and go, do you know what? I give it everything. It wasn't for me. That's not failure. You've learned and you go, yeah, actually, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
then that's fine,
Mhm.
because you'll be you'll be in a better position than you were anyway.
Yeah, because then you'll know that's not what I wanted to do, and this is what I want to do.
Mm.
So yeah, I think we all do. It's that fear of something new, isn't it? Or that fear of going it alone, or it's the fear of you're responsible for you. So you're responsible for the outcome that you're going to get. So I think it's the fear that you personally then are in control of your life, and you've got nobody to say, well, I can't do that because of so and so, and I can't do this because they
Yeah.
wouldn't let me. So it's down to you. So I would just say, yeah, if you're looking to change something, don't fear it. Just do it.
Just do it. So there's Joe's takeaways from today. From today's episode is: 1, you're not a tree.
You're not a tree.
You can always move.
Yeah, you're not rooted.
And just do it. There you go, Joe. You can take the hammer and do your episode of the Gavel Drops.
Thank you.
Sold.